Anyway, I wanted to go through the zero carb nutrition strategy for this Mount Lemmon ascent attempt.
Just passing 4,000 feet of elevation, and the legs are certainly carrying fatigue. So far I haven't stopped, and I don't know, it's like sometimes these things can hit you suddenly. There ain't no way I'm stopping now. The legs are tired, understandably.
A lot of people having cookies the size of dinner plates and pizza slices and ice cream and all that kind of thing. I'm still not hungry, so I've not had anything yet. They'll fill your bottle with ice and water or whatever you need, so just take some electrolytes with you, and this is tasting really refreshing. Quite an incredible view, as you can see. Absolutely amazing. Good morning. So today's zero carb challenge is to bike up Mount Lemmon, which is the highest mountain in the area of Tucson. The challenge is that I did Oceanside 70.3 5 days ago, and I've obviously still got that in my body, the energy expended from that. Normally I'd be doing a recovery session today. I've had a nice easy swim on Monday, nice easy bike Tuesday, and I had a little jog for half an hour yesterday. But today, because I'm here and I've only got a few days left, I thought, why not give it a go, and why not give it a go on zero carbs? So that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the top. We'll see what the legs have got in them. First things first though, I'm going to drive to a place that's quite famous. You can park up, it's a little shopping mall area, but there's a cafe there called Le Buzz, and I'm going to start there, probably have a little cup of coffee, and I'll speak to you when I get there. So here I am. I'm standing outside the cafe called Le Buzz, and this is quite a common place for people to meet before they set off up Mount Lemmon. Start off with a cup of coffee and then finish here. Obviously they'll be having like pastries and cakes and everything, but I've got a belly full of steak still from last night, and a few chicken wings as well. So I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I didn't have one before I left the house this morning deliberately, so I'll enjoy that, and then I'll speak to you just before I make the ascent, or attempt to make the ascent. So here we are. I'm just about to get ready to start the ascent of Mount Lemmon. It's a 7,000 feet climb apparently. We're about 2,000 feet at the moment, and up at the top is 9,000 feet, so 27 miles I think they said it was, roughly. Average grade I think about 5% on the way up, so steady climb, quite relentless, quite long, but apparently one of the most scenic drives in Arizona, so hopefully I'll get some decent footage when I go up. Anyway, I wanted to go through the zero carb nutrition strategy for this Mount Lemmon ascent attempt, and starting with the front of the bike, in the down tube, the hydration system here, I've got 700 millilitres of water with electrolytes, and that's the electrolytes from the Keto Pro in the UK. Very similarly on the back here, got another bottle which has got another 700 millilitres of water with electrolytes. On the frame I'm carrying 2 Aero bottles, and each of those has got a Keto Pro raspberry bomb, which is the one with exogenous ketones and caffeine, 200 milligrams of caffeine. I've also put in there a scoop of MCT powder from the Keto Pro. So each of those, raspberry bomb and MCT powder mixture in 500 millilitres of water. Now, I'm not hungry at the minute. I feel pretty good, but I am going to take something just in case I need some food on the way. And last night I cooked up a nice New York strip loin steak, so I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to put it in my bento box. So instead of having any sugary gels or any stuff like that, we're going to have little chunks of steak that we can nibble on should we need it. I don't know if I'm going to need anything, but it's going to be a long day, and it's going to be very hot, so hydration is going to be key, hence all the fluid on the bike. There is a possibility when I get to the top to refill if I need to, at a place called the Cookie Cabin, and that's where I hope to speak to you from when I get up there. I'll also stop on the way and try and get some footage of the beautiful scenery.
We're officially on the first mile now of the climb. Entering the Coronado National Forest, and you can see loads of saguaro cacti down here, and as we go through the climb, these cacti will disappear at some point because they can only grow up to a certain elevation, and then towards the top, should we ever get there today, it's more like sort of pine forest, I believe. But anyway, onwards and upwards. So we're just coming to the end of the third mile, and it's such a beautiful day. It is going to be hot downtown by the time I get finished. Could be over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, but as we climb the mountain here, the temperature is going to stay roughly the same as it was when I started off, around about 25 degrees Celsius, so that should be quite comfortable. Just passing 4,000 feet of elevation, and the legs are certainly carrying fatigue from last weekend, which is understandable. Like, the body feels strong from all the work that was done beforehand, but yeah, I'm not surprised how the legs are feeling, but I'm just gonna churn away, take my time and enjoy this ride. Just thinking about the benefits of a ride like this. It is a recreational ride, that's something I have to remember, but it's also like a strength ride. Low cadence, even in my lowest gear, I'm in high end of zone 2 watts. Heart rate is sitting pretty much in the middle of zone 2, so you got the cardio benefits, aerobic benefits. So yeah, and the psychological challenge. Geez. So I've just passed the 5,000 feet marker and feeling okay mentally. Been sipping on my exogenous ketones, caffeine and MCT powder, so the raspberry bomb and MCT powder from the Keto Pro in the UK, and mentally at the moment I feel quite good. Physically not as good, but we're still hanging in there. I'd say we're about a third of the way up, because there's the mile 8 marker, and I think if you add on the mile from the cafe, I'm probably about 9 miles into the 27, and so yeah, I haven't stopped yet, and I'm just going to keep going and see how we get on. So we're about halfway up, I would imagine by now. 13 miles left to Summerhaven and the Cookie Cabin. There we go, there's a mile 12 marker and 6,000 feet of elevation. So we're, yeah, that's about 4,000 feet of elevation gain since the cafe this morning. 3,000 feet to go. And, well, we're still going. If you look to the right here, you can see the Hoodoo Vista Point. Amazing rock formations there. Quite high up now. So far I haven't stopped, and I don't know, it's like sometimes these things can hit you suddenly, but still going. Here we are at 7,000 feet, and without wishing to tempt fate, there's something interesting that happens since I've made the transition to this low carb lifestyle, and that is that I actually feel better now than I did it, say, about a third of the way up the hill. You kind of get this second wind. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's the runner's high, or Mount Lemmon bikers high today. You may have remembered that at the beginning of the climb I was talking about the saguaro cacti and how they only grow to a certain height. I think it's around about 5,000 feet of elevation, and towards the top of the climb the description talks about coming across pine trees in a pine forest, and so I think we're somewhere coming on about 7,500 feet of elevation gain, and this is the first of the trees appearing, so I'm taking this as a sign of encouragement that we've not got too far to go. Mile 18, 7 miles to go to the cookie cabin and coffee and maybe a bit of steak. Haven't felt the need so far, not hungry, I've got enough energy in my belly. I'm just keeping an eye on my brain now, see how I feel mentally. We're getting close to Summerhaven now. I haven't stopped so far, and I think I'm going to make it. In fact, there ain't no way I'm stopping now. The legs are tired, understandably, but yeah, we're going to make it. Whew. Just past the sign for 8,000 feet elevation, but we're going to go down now. You actually go down into Summerhaven, and there's a turn off that can take you up to the ski area, which would take you up to the highest point. I've driven up there, it's absolutely amazing, but today Summerhaven is my destiny, the cookie cabin, so that's where we're going. That'll be enough for the day. Welcome to Summerhaven. Made it without stopping. Woohoo! Wow, lots of little lodges here. Don't know if I've ever seen them before. Yeah, welcome to Summerhaven, top of Mount Lemmon. It's such a bumpy road. Here we are. Welcome to the cookie cabin.
So here I am just outside the cookie cabin. It took me about 3.5 hours to get up here from the bottom, and I've just had a cup of coffee. I'm resting for a bit, just relaxing, trying to get my energy back for the descent. Be more about the concentration on the way down. There is a little bit of a climb out of Summerhaven here before you start the descent, so that's a bit of a mental battle. You got to get that out the way before you get going down the hill. But yeah, the cookie cabin here, it's a lovely place to stop. A lot of people having cookies the size of dinner plates, and pizza slices and ice cream and all that kind of thing. I'm still not hungry, so I've not had anything yet. I don't even need a bit of the steak that I brought, so I'll have to save that for later. But anyway, I shall check in on the way down. I'll probably stop at a couple of viewpoints on the way down and show you some of the wonderful scenery.
This is about the toughest part of the whole day, climbing back up out of Summerhaven. Quite a steep little hill this, and the legs of course don't get a chance to warm up. You're like straight into it, so well, at least we'll be descending soon. This is a nasty little climb. You kind of go up a little bit of a steep hill to get out of the village, and you got a bit of a descent, not much, and then you hit this thing which is quite long. It's a good couple of miles long. You think, oh, I'm going to descend all the way back down, but you've got this nasty little hill. So, whenever you come and do this, save a little bit of energy for this nasty piece of work.
So here we are, we're at a place called Hoodoo Vista Point. Already at the mile 15 marker on the way down. I feel like I've just left Summerhaven. It's amazing how fast the descent goes, but you can see hopefully behind me some incredible scenery, and maybe down below you can see part of the road that we're going to hit in a couple of miles. But yeah, just thought I'd stop off and
make the most of this amazing view. And if I just turn around and show you some of it properly now. There we are. So this is Hoodoo Vista Point. There we are. The one thing I would say is that the cookie cabin are pretty good as far as filling your water bottles up. So if you've got a refill needed, they'll fill your bottle with ice and water or whatever you need. So just take some electrolytes with you, and this is tasting really refreshing because my water was already really hot by the time I got to the top in this spare bottle. It's still got some ice in it. It's really refreshing. Okay, I'll carry on descending and probably check in at Windy Point. So here we are at Windy Point, and it's not too windy today, but you've got to be careful if you do come on a windy day to Mount Lemmon. If the wind's blowing, take care on the descents. It can be quite crazy. But yeah, this is probably the most popular place for people to stop, and there's toilets here and everything, but this is where you'll see quite a few cars parked up, and tourists having a look at the view and so on. And it's quite an incredible view, as you can see. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, anyway, that's a little stop off at Windy Point for you. Here we are, the end of the ride. So I thought I'd do a bit of a reaction soon after finishing the ride rather than wait until I got home. And I have to say I'm really chuffed actually that 5 days after 70.3 Oceanside I was able to get to the top of Mount Lemmon without stopping, all the way to the cookie cabin. I think the toughest thing of the day was when I was at the cookie cabin watching people eating these dinner plate sized cookies with ice cream on top. I do have a bit of a sweet tooth from the past, and so I'm still fighting those kind of things as we go forward, but that was the toughest part of the day. No, I reckon one thing I would recommend is if you're coming out of Summerhaven, save something in your legs for that part, because it's a bit of a steep climb out of there until you actually get on the descent of Mount Lemmon. But the descent goes really fast. I mean, before you know it, you're back down here, and it's quite incredible. Anyway, behind me, Le Buzz Cafe is just closing up. They're putting all the tables away. That's them done for the day. It's been really good to come here again. Not sure if I'll ever be back, so I've just been in there and I had a keto omelette. Wasn't really that hungry, but I thought I'm maybe not coming back. I want to support their business, so I had some sparkling water and this keto omelette with steak, bacon, and yeah, it was nice. It was nice. Anyway, what else? I think that's it. We can safely say Mount Lemmon all the way to the top of Summerhaven, 0 carbs, completed.